Hey.
Hi.
Grab a chair.
Sorry for being late.
That's no problem.
We actually just got started.
Oh, okay. I didn't miss much, huh? Today or when?
Oh, anytime.
Anytime good. Today, well, it was one of those days. Em knows all about it today.
Yeah, CDBG.
Just left there.
Did you?
Yeah, been over there
The
all day
income
with that.
qualification people that the county hired.
Yeah, been over there all day with that.
Yeah.
My phone.
Straightening out the messes, yeah.
My phone's been blowing up with that all morning, all afternoon, all morning.
Okay.
Sorry. Anyhow,
No
I won't
problem.
disrupt you.
It's the time for a public comment. Do either one of you, I didn't put a sheet out, I apologize.
Oh,
No.
Okay.
For signing?
oh, you want me to sign in?
Give me a sheet. And
Sure.
I'll let you use my pen if you don't lose it.
I'll steal one. I stole two from CDBG already over
Wow.
there. You better make sure I give it back to you. Wait a minute.
It is, yeah.
You know, the other one gonna speak? There you go. You know where I live. I'm giving your pen back, so now you know.
I got it.
Oh, I need one
Let the
for you.
record show. Yeah.
Let the record show that I gave her a pen back. Right. Let me take this, give me 1 sec, let me turn this off, cause it's gonna go crazy here. They're still there. I'll let them be in peace over there for a half hour.
Oh, yeah.
6, they'll have to live without me. Alright.
Yes.
Just wanted to make, I was there Monday at the meeting Monday, and I said I was gonna come here tonight, and,
It's appreciated. You said last, you were gonna come and we didn't have a meeting, so.
right, and, so I'm here again tonight, and, just wanted to, one, offer up if you guys need, cause I know you hear a lot of people that come to these meetings, I guess, and, come to the township meetings, and I see a lot of people are always having a lot of negative, so I'm here, if you guys need some help in the future, reach out to me.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind.
I'm volunteering, cause I like to be one of those proactive people, instead of just sitting in the audience. I'd rather help out if I can.
Good.
And one of my first suggestions that I would like to make, and I think it would help out, I went back to the, some of the old minutes, I had a FOIA.
Okay.
And I noticed back in, when it goes all the way back to, what was it, August of 2001. And I don't know if you guys was back on the board or on the committees back then, or
I wasn't.
you wasn't.
I don't.
Some of you were.
Some
But you was on this committee.
I was a trustee
Trustee at
from
the time.
2001 to 2009.
They had the, I don't even know if it was called the Open Space Committee, but it was something similar to it. And they were trying to put together a community center.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's an event center. And even at that time when we had this meeting here, when we had the vote a couple months ago, and Ethel Rodriguez made a good point. When we were calling it an event center, you guys were gonna call it event center, as an idea, which was, that's all it was an idea. You guys had a great idea, which, again, let's put it as, it was an idea, which came to a vote. She says, back then, it was an idea to put a community center, which then eventually became, I forgot what it's called in here now, Founders Crossing over there.
Well, there was an event center and a multi-purpose building.
Right, it
an
became multiple things that eventually it turned into what it is today, which is a beautiful thing over there. So people gotta realize that it starts out as an idea, doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it's gonna become. Because even then, it started out as a community center in August, it was a community center in December, and then come May, it became an activity center. It changes throughout time.
Right.
And I think maybe instead of an event center, let's try it next time as a community center idea. and see once, because the people that are objecting to it today was all in favor back in August of 2001 as a community center.
Mhm.
And they did not have any objections to it. They even said on record that it wouldn't affect local businesses. It would actually help local businesses.
Agreed.
Right. Where today though, they're saying an event center, so again, I think it's in the wording. Because if it was a community center, it was helpful to the community. Even though he was gonna be holding events in the community center, it was helpful to the community. So I'm just throwing it out there, like I said, I'm just trying to, been coming to several meetings, I always like to come to several meetings, sit back, listen, take it all in, and then decide to jump in with both feet. After I do my research, and find out who was all the key players back then, who's the key players now, who's doing all this screaming and carrying on and wanting to put things together, and only to find out that the people who are complaining today was all in favor back then. There was only one trustee that was against it back then, was trustee Fish. Was the only trustee that was against it.
So Steve Gallich was a trustee.
Yes, trustee Ballich was all in favor of it.
From 2001 to 2009.
Right.
And
He
you're
was
saying
all in
he was
favor
in
by
favor.
by the minutes from his meetings. He was the one who said it wouldn't affect the community.
Right.
And now he's saying, oh, it's against, it's gonna hurt the community. So I don't know what took place from 2001 till now, I don't know. But maybe it's because you're calling it an event center, not a community center.
We can,
So something to throw around,
Right.
and that's why I said, I come here tonight, I'm gonna start offering my help. And that's one of my first thoughts was, maybe change it to a community center.
Can I ask you, so what do you think about the, not that anybody's hooked on any name.
Right, cause you guys have.
I called it a pole barn because that's all we were talking about, but.
Call it a tent
but
if you
What
want.
about the name, so you're saying, if I understand you correctly, you're saying that the name event center puts in your mind something more than what it is that what you're saying?
That's, in
Like-
me personally,
like-
no, but I think in the community's mind, evidently, that wording of event center that somebody, and again, it's just an idea that somebody had, and I don't even know who's like, cause I wasn't here for those meetings, so I can't speak for what happened then, other than it was somebody's idea. But evidently, that word event center must just bring up some kind of,
Well, maybe they
bad
think of it like,
ideas.
the Rosemont Horizon Event Center or
Right,
something
yeah.
like that, or,
So I think by calling it, maybe if we change the ideas in the future, because I don't even know if you guys are still pursuing this idea,
yeah, we're still,
and if you're still kicking it around, maybe switch it over to a community center, because back then, trustee Ballage and the rest of, I don't know, there's all the names, I can dig in here and find it and tell you, all the trustees who voted for it was all in favor of it back then.
right.
And they had no problem with it affecting the community, they all thought it was good for the community, other than trustee Fish.
So we're still pursuing it
Okay.
as the electors told us to do, that we
Right.
could keep pursuing this.
the
So-
idea,
The idea, right.
Exploration.
We haven't,
nothing.
nothing is concrete.
You haven't went
nothing's
out and got engineers, and you haven't got the contractor putting in windows and putting
No.
everything together yet, no,
No
it's still an
designs.
idea, which is what we
Right.
all thought it was.
Right.
No design, all that we've been exploring is, again, as you mentioned, for many years, there are residents, maybe not all residents, maybe, just like anything. We explore garbage service, we explore all these things based on what our residents ask
Come
us
to
to,
you
or
next.
claim that they have needs for, so there is that. We also know that, when we have had, events, which is probably where the name event center came from.
Right.
But when the township has had events, like Homer Harvest Days and different events out at the site, we spend a lot of money trying to rent tents, trying to deal with inclement weather, very limited by that. As we've talked about over and over at a lot of our other meetings, including this one, the town hall has a very small amount of people that can be located in fact, only 12 designated parking spaces. So we do have like the Art Gal, different groups that have contacted us. We have people that currently use our town hall for events,
Right.
and this is where it comes in, baby showers, birthday parties, they are residents, we do reserve residents to use our facilities. And they're always very limited by the fact that we have limited space. We do get Boy Scouts, we have a great number of Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts that, use our facilities. I know people say, well, they can use the village and stuff too, but that's not what they tell us. They tell us that they cannot use the village meeting facilities for food products, for any crafting, for anything like that. So really, the town hall is booked a great deal for the scouting organizations alone. But to be able to have any larger function or functions where the parents can, come and participate or do things, that is what we have been lacking in. That was one of the ideas in a multi-purpose building, in addition to, having more seasonal, activities, was to be able to enable the community to be able to do. Not trying to compete with, Denolfo's or any of those places. And again, our seniors, we have a group over 100, and we are not able to accommodate them in our facilities any longer. They've outgrown them. We have been fortunate enough to use the Cross of Glory Church, but again, it is a denominational church, and there's been some issues raised about that. Plus, right now, the current pastor has allowed it and welcomed it, and it's been working out fairly well. But there have been times in the past where we were advised that there was going to be a change in leadership, and that the church was floundering, and that we would have to look for another place for the seniors to meet. And also, they were doing their annual Christmas party at Denolfo's, but it has become cost prohibitive. So we've received requests from many of the seniors too. It'd be great if we had. It'd be great
for everybody. I mean,
right, and so
there's
the committee started looking at, is this a possibility? Is it possible to use open space? This has happened over many years. There's no great thunder to put one up. And again, as volunteers, we are limited in the amount of time that we have to do a lot of this, but we have looked at other grants and things. There are some grants that are available. There's some programs that might, be, again, multi-purpose, that might be able to render the building to be solar-based, to produce its own energy and be able to be run economically. They're all been exploration. You're right, I do remember in 2001, when I was not only a trustee, but even just active in the community. We actually had in the 90s, we had referendum put on for the open space, for a park district, and at one time, and for the senior housing, and at one time, instead of the park district, there was going to be a referendum with Supervisor Savara for a community center at what is now the Healing Garden.
And that's what I was looking. I was looking
yeah,
in here. I had highlighted
I think that's
some things
the minutes
in here,
that you're doing, and
right. I'm paying attention to. I'm actually multitasking. And
yeah,
a little head up
I
there.
think that's what you're talking about. And at that time, the only reason the community center was pulled off, according to Savara and some of the groups that we were volunteering in, was so that the park district, because you can only have 3 referenda items on the ballot at the time. So they said, we don't, the community center, they had enough money, I believe, in their town fund to purchase the property, which they did. And later, under Supervisor Fazio, they determined to turn that into the Healing Garden. And Steve Bellich with Founders, the Homer Founders or whatever group that was active at the time that he was very active then,
That's when they changed it to an activity center, was in May of.
Well, not
So
necessarily.
they changed the wording of it.
The property is two different properties,
Right.
so there is a, small activity center at Founder's Crossing, for the residents of the senior facility.
Right.
And they do, but it is, again, it was, it's several rooms, it's not, able to accommodate a large number
crowd.
of people, and there is, limited parking, again, the problem being that, people will block off driveways, and for emergencies or, circumstances, people need to be getting in and out of their garages and their parkways and stuff. So it is, but those were actually two separate things, and, the senior housing was approved by referendum, and it was approved and designed with that, unit for a little activity center.
Small one, yeah.
And it is used for crafts and for different programs through the seniors that reside there.
And to answer your question that you had earlier when I was talking about it, was, on the December meeting in 2001, the motion was made, just for the record, just so you guys know that, and I know you're recording this, so that, just to refresh everybody, motion was made by Steve Ballard, second by Nancy Strack, to proceed with the project to fruition. The roll call, Greg Fish was no, Steve Ballard, Pam Myers, Nancy Strack, and Bud Vasio all voted yes to proceed with this thing as a community center. So that's what I'm saying. I think it would be good as, instead of calling it the event center,
Sure.
is why I talked about it at the meeting on Monday, and I'm bringing it here tonight.
And that location was at Founder's Crossing originally?
Huh?
No, it was at, its own individual location, which was now the Healing Garden,
Mm-hmm.
but the property that they purchased with the plan for the community center at that time. And actually, they, were looking at constructing a very large building there, if my recollection is correct, very similar to what eventually was approved by the village, the Megaplex. Right around the corner. And so at that time, we were told that, the Megaplex it wasn't called the Megaplex. That was going to be able to be used by the community and
that
this
didn't,
and that.
yeah.
Well, nothing,
Everything
no
always-
business is in it for free.
Right, exactly.
Or for reduced rates. And, if you're a business owner and you have, hockey group or volleyball or whatever, and you're gonna make, however many hundreds of dollars, for those types of programs, why would you, if you're not, if you're a business owner, why would you let the community use it for free when you can bring
Make
in
a few
revenues and
bucks,
keep your
That's why
employees
the
employed
in the
and
business,
everything,
right,
of course.
Right.
Of
So
course.
it was just, like I said, it was just mainly, I think, the event center, the word event center, because at that meeting when we voted, that was the hot topic button that night. Everybody kept saying event center. It was all focused on that word event center. So that was all I really wanted to talk about, and I'll let you guys get back with your meeting, and like I said, if you guys need something in the future, reach out. You guys got.
We're always welcoming people with,
I'm willing to help out and
and
volunteer whatever I
move
can.
forward on
I'm
projects,
busy on my district as well, especially now that we just started this project, but God knows I'm gonna be busy with that one, but I will try to squeeze anything I can and help out wherever I can, so. there you have
Appreciate
it.
it, thank you.
All right, taking enough of your time, I'm yakking away.
Okay, our next item then would be approval of the minutes for our September 18th meeting.
I will make a motion to approve those minutes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain? Okay, that's been passed. Let's see what we got. I don't know, our status reports, everything at the Trentina site is going along as far as I know.
Yeah, and everything's winding,
Yeah,
season's
we're dying down
making
end of
all
the
the
year.
changeovers for the winterizing and, as we do with all of our outdoor sites, the latrine has been pumped, water, all that's gotta
Right.
be all blown out and closed down, so, basically, it's been, most of the maintenance.
Yeah, we're just getting ready for winter time.
And we are working on, there was some issues with the exterior light at Austin Walter. We have talked to Will County, land use, and, the barn has, landmark status, and so
Right.
while, I'm sure they are not going to object to any changes, we do have to get their approval, for any lighting changes, anything to the exterior of the building, so that's kind of
Okay,
laying there, waiting to move
Wait, yeah.
forward. Mhm.
well, yeah, I know, we looked at we were talking about a different light. There are aluminum versions of the one that's up there. I can make a bracket if it comes to the point to where it's gonna be a big deal, but.
It's just that, the fixtures there have been, they just get beat up by the wind.
Well, they
There's
get beat up
Huge amount
and-
of wind
yeah.
out on that site, and I think they're getting to the spot now where they're not really repairable anymore, they just, they'll be hanging, thing, but they do, as usual with the landmark status, they don't want you to put up an ultra modern fixture
Right,
and
right.
stuff, and we have been researching, and we do have to, find something that will tolerate, the higher winds and, will be acceptable to the,
Well,
I believe it's the land use, the historic preservation arm of the land use, so once we, are ready to move forward, we'll have to submit to them.
Well, they still make that light, basically the same shape, so
Mhm.
we can look into that, or there's all sorts of antique-y looking type things, so.
Mhm.
All right,
I would, just make a comment about that, I just don't remember what kind of light there was up there. I know there was a
It's
Ghostbuster
a-
light on the garage, was it?
That was the old garage, these are the, they're like
It's
a
a-
gooseneck, there's the two exterior, they hang like on it looks like a shepherd hook or whatever, and then it's the down light.
Okay. Well, the most efficient lighting on, on that type of fixture would be a flat lens,
right,
rather than one that spreads out and shines up and lights up the area.
Well, these are the gooseneck, they're on a gooseneck, and then they have the lid that actually
It
directs
does
the
have-
light down,
Right, it
Yeah.
shines down,
Mhm.
right, yeah.
and they look
bulb-
old,
And the bulb is in that shield, so that is the most efficient type
Yeah.
of light.
well, they make that one, they make that particular fixture even in an LED.
Yeah, we're
I
still
mean-
looking at that design, it's
Yeah.
just, the mounting brackets and the gooseneck is the thing that takes, don't forget, the wind is blowing, which is, the challenge we face whenever we do anything, it's this, as we talked for how many months about shade structures and whatever, sure, we can put structures out, but they have to be snow and wind load efficient, so we can't just go to Home Depot and buy something for, a couple $100 and,
Mhm.
There also needs to be a modification to the electrical box that's up there. There's just some little things, and currently it works, it's not right. So, there are a few other things, but as long as we're gonna be up there, that fixture is, I don't know how old, we can buy something more, that's the same but more modern.
Yeah, I'm not objecting to that type of that type of style and so forth. My concern would be for efficient lighting.
Yeah.
That's full cut off, and then when you speak of LED, there's, an LED light that is called amber LED, and that is, a better, type of lighting for the area, rather than a blue-white light. which
Well,
is-
we'd use a soft white. The problem with those the amber lights is they tend to confuse plants, and they wanna grow in the wintertime.
It's not that yellow, it's not that amber.
So-
But the blue, the municipalities, other places too, are going toward that type of lighting rather than the blue-white lighting, because it's not, it's really, not a healthy type of light. It provides a health issue. So,
There are people in Alaska that would disagree with that, but.
well, all we have to do, it is, it's not a matter of opinion, it's a matter of what type, what the facts are. And you can Google healthy lighting, and there are all kinds of opinions about lighting.
Yeah.
And, we can light up the sky, because we have the, the ability to do that, you know, we're not using candles anymore. So,
Well, the good thing is no matter what, regulations or ordinances or anything, this has always been downlighting, and again, it is, shielded to the top and it's only lighting, we're only looking, at the lighting above I believe it's the two entrances.
Yeah.
There's that, I think the only, issue, other than, discussing it is, we had originally thought, that we could just go ahead and find an equivalent light and replace it, and because of the landmark status, we have to get authorization before we can
no,
go
that,
ahead.
of course.
So the season, I'm relatively certain the season for a lot of outdoor work and repairs is over, and so we'll get whatever, equivalent, fixture and whatever stuff ready
Yeah.
for spring
Yeah,
and
I'm
move
not
forward.
objecting to the light, to that, because I know that's a good fixture, and it really, you know, it spreads out the light where it's needed, not lighting up the sky.
Right.
Like the warehouses, like the lights at the warehouses.
Yeah, we're probably getting more light from the new warehouses around there than
And-
those little light bulbs, yeah.
And the type of color coded temperature on those is very bright white, it's very harsh, and it's very
Well,
glary.
not all LEDs are white,
No, I know that,
but, okay.
but I don't have an opinion on this, I'm dealing with facts, and that's all. And those lights over there at the warehouse are so bright, so there are other choices, and I certainly agree with you, and we should think about how we want that light to look when it shines.
Okay. The next thing on the list would be the dog park. Pam has got some
Yeah, we get,
pictures of
yeah, just some ideas.
an idea of something that
an
looks
idea.
like it might be nice. We haven't done anything with it.
Right.
We've looked for things, structures that would stand up and last. She's found something, that looks like it'll work. We'll have to do some more research into it.
Let me see that.
This is a 10 by 10, and, right now, there's the ability to do, it's wood, cedar with an aluminum roof. It has a 36, pound per square foot, snow load, and I wanna say, between like around a 70 mile an hour, wind, load too. It's very difficult to find structures, sheds or otherwise that have high wind load, without getting into commercial in nature. We're only looking, as everybody, to refresh everybody's memory, we're looking to add some shades, out on the two, dog park, lots, they're 1 acre each. The township board had previously approved, the cost for two, up to $5,000, which does limit us, and, I will say that, for example, at, Morris Park, we just did 2 sheds, and the concrete pad was $4,000 for the 2 sheds, so, if we were only gonna put in a concrete pad, we would have $1,000 for the shade structure. But it, going with the 10 by 10, it also would, meet the purpose, because we're not looking for meeting places and stuff out there, just, in climate weather, be able to give a little bit of shade. We do have some trees planted there is a pavilion there are other things. But it would not require, is my understanding, anything under 120 square foot would not require, some of the ordinances to look on the land use and the whole application and permitting process.
Like, for example, we went to a larger one, then we would have other, requirements.
We would not only have other requirements, but then we might be, we might have to have that, concrete, pad where it's possible, as you see this particular example, there's like a wood decking, or we would definitely have concrete footings in order to, deal with the wind load and stuff. We would wanna make sure that the wood structure, was, securely, mounted to the ground. But then there's other options, or there could be, patio block, there could be different things, there could just be limestone, I mean, it would again be up to the budget and up to the committee, and if it was within the $5,000, we would be able to move forward. This, we wanna make sure, the idea of getting a prefab one, is that, we're hoping that it would be able to be constructed by staff in-house to save on some of the funding there. We did, as you may recall, look at, having, contractors do it, over a couple of years. And we've even had ones where, we were given, design and build, you know, I think that one was like $20,000 or something. I know it was close, we would have had to go out to bid. That one was based on using some of the leftover trusses that, we have from the, Austin Walter barn when it was brought over, hoping to be able to do that, but, again, the cost is, just unbelievable, and then the requirements of the county for these larger structures, just like our pavilions, that are out there now, on the outside of the dog park. This is to give some shade on the inside of the dog park, and those pavilions, on both sides of the sites, I believe they were like $40,000, so anyways, this is a possibility. We are still, like Tom says, researching it a little bit and also trying to get some more feedback from staff, in order to, I don't know how long we could, save on shipping, because shipping is a lot of money when you have these structures. And that is one of the things, one of the hurdles we ran into when we chose a structure once before, was by the time we added in the cost of shipping and the weight charges and things, it was out of our scale. This is something, because it's off-season, they're running specials, that we may be able to do. So I think it looks like a nice structure. Hopefully it would be, low maintenance and
it's very appealing.
Yeah, looks nice and would suit the purpose.
And it looks strong, I think that's important, those posts are really have to be.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that if, we are able to, move forward with something like this, that the committee has a consensus that this would be a proper design and meets our challenges that we've been running into in all our research.
Well, we've done a lot of research on that.
Well, we have, and I mean, we even looked at, really trying to save and, look at like these sail shades or sunshades and stuff. But again, the wind, the removing, installing and removing, and, we've looked at even like, wood chip areas and stuff. I mean, we have some benches that we can move on under there. We researched with dog parks and manufacturers of dog parks, you don't want wood chips. You don't want to encourage a picnic pavilion or a place where people are eating because of the dog bites that they've gotten. There's a lot, we always think, we just throw these things up, and then you start to research a little bit and you realize that, the public is gonna be using these, and you don't wanna be putting a picnic table under there and somebody brings their lunch in there and then the dogs start fighting and, all that kind of stuff. So I think this would suit the purpose. Still would be, a 10 by 10 is a nice size, and there would be one for each side, for the small side and the large side.
That's been one of the best ideas that we've had.
I think,
and price-wise, it really is economical.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for lack of looking, but this is the first time we were able to find one of this size and of this caliber, so promising. And then if we are able to move forward with it, we could be prepared for spring when the weather, and hopefully we get one of those nice springs which we've had before.
Early.
We get out there early, because fall was a real bust for us for outside projects this year. But we could be basically set up to go, if everything pans out.
No waiting.
Good, that's all I got.
Okay, well, we talked about the Welter barn. I don't know anything with the storage shed, the metal shed, the granary. As far now, the rental house is rented and everything is
Right,
as it should be. The trim work was finished.
Yes,
Did we do
yes,
them?
the trim around the windows and stuff. As far as I know, all maintenance has been completed. We do also do spring and fall maintenance on that building as well, preventative maintenance and making sure that we're in compliance with all the fire and carbon monoxide and, whatever,
Right.
the mechanisms, the infrastructure. To the best of my knowledge, everything is copacetic and the tenant is happy and the rents are current, and it does bring in the wealth of money, since open space is not funded by property taxes, it is another one of those, revenue sources that keeps us, being able to do it that way.
Okay, our multi-purpose building, community center, whatever, I'm still looking at grant stuff, we haven't gone any further than that, as I said, what was authorized by the electors, we're still looking into it. The miscellaneous, I don't know that anything so far as the Trantina site needs to be done. As you said, the latrine's been pumped, we're not doing anything with the screen house or the chicken coop or
No, I
any
think
of
the
that.
season's pretty
So
good, it's a very seasonal site.
Right, so that's all done. The grounds in general, we're not doing anything with. So as far as the farms, all the leases are up to date and that
Yes.
sort of thing.
Everything is up to date, the only thing that is outstanding, the Paw property, the sign was, repaired and restored. We're still a little torn up, not a little torn, we're still waiting for, Will County Land Use to, sign off on the permit for the two signs, the one at the dog park and the one at Trantina that have been approved months ago by the board. I think they have new people at land use, and so there's been some hold up there, but we are on it. As everybody knows, we had such an unusual, for the farm leases and for the farming, we had such an unusual amount of moisture and rain this spring and summer, that things are, I believe Purdy still isn't, the crop's still
Right.
brought in. And, so things are kind of backed up, but other than that, yes, everything is,
Yeah.
is
Well,
clean.
I mean, even with the signs, unless we do something very shortly, the ground's gonna be frozen, so that's gonna be a spring project.
They're produced, the contractor is just waiting, we are just waiting for the final sign off. It is, unusual, I can only say, without bashing, the county, I can only say that, I believe some of these names I don't recognize from the past, and, there's been kind of a learning curve, and, for example, the sign that we're talking about installing at the dog park is not in the right of way, but, just this morning, they held up the permit again and asked, that we get in writing something from the highway commissioner saying he's okay with the signs being constructed, and he's saying, well, it's not in the right of way, and we're saying, can you just put it in writing in an email? So I did just get that at about 4 o'clock from the highway commissioner. He has no objection, so it's just been crazy. The signs were approved by the town board on September 9th, and
Right.
we were ready to go. We had the applications there, and each time it keeps being something new. The last question was, is there any kind of wind uplift protection that would be normal with pole barns? And the contractor has responded, and so I don't know. I can't explain it other than we've been on it, and the signs have been produced. The contractor's just waiting for the sign off on the land use permit.
Okay.
How large is this sign?
They're very small. They're the same as any of the other signs that we've done in the parks and stuff. And in fact, the north side of Trantina already has a sign there, and it's just being, replaced with the town board had, implemented a program before this term even, of updating all the park signs and all, because we had like some really old signs and falling apart. and trying to go with a common theme, which they all are starting to recognize. Like you see, there's one here at this park, there's one at the Healing Garden, you know, they're all over with the same general logos and stuff at the township, and just refreshing it. And we've gotten many compliments. I mean, even Trustee Gray at the village was giving us kudos at the improvement at some of the local parks and stuff. So we're just bringing all the signs as they need to be into compliance. We did not replace the Purdy sign because it's not that old and it was still in good shape. And we did not replace the Paul one, even though that was the oldest one. Again, it just needed some reinforcement and some new poles, and so the board chose to let them run their lives. But if and when there is either a new sign put in or a replacement sign, they're using those current signs.
Okay, fundraising, we haven't really done anything with it. I think we'd still like to think about doing some fundraising events. And right now, just getting some ideas, maybe start a little earlier than we did last year with what we think we wanna do. I don't know if, when they did the thing over at the county, whether that detracted from our ideas or not. But, for the next meeting, just get some ideas of what we could do, and then maybe we can start on them earlier in the year so that we can see if we can get something to work.
You refer to the county, what did you mean by that?
Well, at the, what do they call it, the Will County Fairgrounds.
Swap meet or?
They Swaparama
Oh.
did a swap meet out there every month. I had no idea about it, and I'm sure that, I don't know whether that hurt us or not, but, maybe look into something different. We didn't have a big response when we tried to do our garage sale events, so.
Well, the village did, trunk or treat. Maybe we should, and it was great, using the trunk idea. Maybe we should have them decorate.
Well, we have the idea with the trunk. Yeah, we did talk about this the last time, and if I look at the minutes, so you're really reviewing, and we did talk about low-cost fundraising events. I mean, we can't put out a whole lot of money, and but we're looking for something that would be more economical and yet bring people in and be successful. So when we talked about the Swaparama, that seemed to be a pretty good idea the last time we met. And
I don't know, maybe we can get them to move out to the Trentino farm.
Maybe, but we also talked at that last meeting, like you said, and I know you're exploring all different options and ideas, and it was in the fall, and I think you were gonna actually go, there was a dog park, or a dog-related event at Orland. Did you ever make it to that? Orland Park?
but no, I couldn't. What I did is I found that it was the week before.
Oh.
And but I really wanted to see what they had done, and then we talked about flea markets, arts and crafts shows, organic produce sales, antique show, and we discussed that. We were discussing the pros and cons of that. The thing is, what we're limited to is what the weather's going to do.
Weather
And
is.
of course, we know what this past year has been, and holding the summer harvest days at that Trentina farm, we always had our fingers crossed. And there were some days, we had 2 days of that. This we're only looking at 1 day, but 2 days of that. 1 day may not have been as good as the other, and then that cuts down on your visitation. But Orland had that dog show outside, and so that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they had a rain day, but I think what makes some of that successful is that they have vendors, also that have different products and supplies and stuff, which we know that planning for something like that, like this is the time of year for us to start planning and trying to figure out, and you know how long it takes to get, people to fill out applications and do stuff, so, but I do think that there is a lot of interest, whether it's on social media, whether it's at, events and stuff, in products now for pets and for, dogs and cats and, alike, and there are a lot more vendors and things. So I know, when we talked about some of these events before, we talked about, because of our limited budget and because of the weather, of maybe downscaling, some of our events to, doing smaller, a couple times a year, rather than trying to do 2 and 3 days in the tents, which again, thousands of dollars. I mean, I wish we had, the money we've spent with Homerfest, with any of it in tents, to apply towards the building over the years, and then if the weather is really bad, the tents become unstable as well, unless you get these major ones.
Right.
So, I know we had talked about having smaller, maybe even, pop-up type events where our volunteer level is low, our investment is low, and again, if you have vendors and, figure out a percentage of their sales or a fee for their, location or whatever you gotta do. But I think the pet stuff seems to be very much an interest, for people. Natural dog foods, all different things, maybe vets with, even if they don't, even if they just came out and if they don't sell anything, but even if they came out and, used it as a publicity event, for them, the different local vets and, grooming places and things like that, for people to get to know them and meet them and, see what their services offer. But it's interesting, but I think that could be a nice one-day event.
Did you get the impression they actually had dogs at that event over on Layardy?
I don't wanna say something that I don't remember correctly, but I wanna say, that they did allow dogs to be at the event, but they had very, and we'd have to go ahead and pull the, advertisement, but they had, very strict, requirements for allowing the pets to be there. Like, I think they did not allow